Welcome back to episode 4 of the Monaro. In this episode, what we're going to try and do is get the front end off. I need to have a good look inside behind here because there's quite often rust in there and I want to know whether I need to do any work. Just to show you what I've been up to so far. I've managed to get the all the bolts out of here, both sides, and I've managed to get the bolts out here, but they're a bit of a task because they're pretty well rusted in the holes. I've managed to get the inside ones out already. These are moving now, I've got them out partly, and I've got a few temporary bolts in here just to hold the front and while I'll be working on the front. I tried to do this with the cross member and the wheels on so I could pull it away with the wheels, and that really wasn't possible with one person, and because nobody else was around I decided to take the bit of weight off it, so I've taken the front end out of it and the wheels off it so that it's a whole lot lighter. Now at least it's actually moving, so I know that with a bit of luck with the punch I can punch those two final bolts out of the bottom, take the temporary bolts out of there, and then I should be able to pull the thing forward. I've just got a simple little jig made up on my lift to actually get the front rolling forward once I get it detached. Otherwise nothing else has been done to the front, apart from a tiny bit of panel beating on the corner, but everything else is nice and straight. So now this will be the big reveal to find out whether there is any rust in those corners where it goes into the firewall. Alright, so we'll have a go at pulling this off. It could get a bit ugly, but we'll see what happens. one out. Both the bolts out. Now we'll just take the temporary bolts out, see what happens. This could be interesting. As I said, it could get ugly. Now we'll see what happens. If it falls, it shouldn't do any damage anyway. Got a large piece of rubber on the floor, so if it falls onto the rubber, it won't hurt anything. One screw tight. I think I might just take the nut off and pull it and see what happens. So it's going to be a little bit tight, that one. No, that's right. Here we go. So now we find out whether we've got any rust holes in the firewall. Let's see what happens. Yep, it's coming. There it is. Okay. rubbish in there, but doesn't appear to be any major holes. Until I have a good poke around. This is all just surface crap. That'll come off with the wire wheel. That's a spider. Okay, that side's quite good. The other side looks a bit messier, but I'm sure we'll get around that. There's a whole lot of that black tarry crap all in there coming off. But there's no actual holes. It's back to clear metal there. All of that is a combination of the black tar from Holden and I've got no holes. It's great. It's fantastic. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to clean that firewall up, and I'll put a coat of that KBS around this area, and then I'll put some tar-based stuff in there to give it a good finish. So I'll be back with you shortly after I've cleaned everything up. And by the looks of it, the K-frames are all in great condition as well. And no rust holes in those either. I've seen some nasty videos on K-frames, but this one looks really good. I'm really pleased. Okay, I'll be back with you after I do a bit of cleaning and grinding and show you how it comes up. Back soon. Okay, the cleanup's been done, and I'll just show you what I've found with the rust. The worst part I've found would be the driver's side, which has got pitting in there, but I've spent a lot of time cleaning everything up, and I'll give it a coat of KBS, and I'm sure that'll be fine. Luckily this metal is quite thick, so even though it's pitted, it's not anywhere through. The K-frame is the same. It's got pitting on there, but cleaned up okay. The other side was quite good. Very little pitting with the rust, and the passenger side's the same. It looks pretty good. So we're going to give that a coat of KBS black now, just with a brush, just to seal it. And that's the rust treatment finished. It's only got one coat on there, but it comes up nice and flat when it goes on. So what I might do is tomorrow morning, I did those pads as well on the bottom so that the rubbers will sit nicely on them. I think tomorrow morning I might give it another coat, just because it's going to be inside and never be pulled off again with a bit of luck. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Well, this is as far as we got since the previous week, I suppose. We've gone out and bought a rotisserie. I've got it hooked up. I'll just show you how it's connected. On the front here, I've decided to go underneath to the rail, only because we've got a 1/2 inch bolt that goes through the rail, so that should be sturdy enough. I've seen other people use this channel here. Problem with that is there's a lot of mucking around and getting angles and everything else, so I'm trying the bottom first to see whether that works. The only problem with this one here is it mounts low to the bottom of the car, which means the centre of gravity is, I'm not sure where it's going to be yet, so that may be an issue to try and get the centre of gravity. Plus the jack wouldn't quite go low enough. I had to jack the body up a bit to get it onto the bars in the first place. On the back, I've just used the rails where the bumper bar bolts onto, and I just made up a couple of brackets to slip inside these rails here, so that that should be strong enough because it's bolted where the bumper is and it's connected to the rail as well. So next thing is I'll get it off the ground and take the diff and the wheels off the back, and then we can turn it over and see what happens. I also haven't got the centre rail attached yet. That's still got to be done. But I thought I'd get rid of the diff first to make it easier. And we'll be back soon. Alright, well, we got the diff out and we got the springs out, which wasn't an easy little task when you're on your own. Now it's a matter of finding out whether this turns or not. Problem is, at the moment, I can't turn it freely. I can turn it with a gearbox, but I can't turn it freely to find out whether it's got the right centre of gravity through this screw through here. So I think what I'll have to do actually is take the gearbox off it to make sure we're going to balance, lift it up high enough, and then we'll see how it goes. First of all, I've got to get that balance right. Okay, finally got it set up. The centre gravity makes a really big difference. Once I've got it on centre without the gearbox on there, it was really easy just to turn around my finger, and it was quite easy. So now when the box is on, it's quite easy to use. I'll just turn it around this way so you can see the bottom. There's things rattling everywhere, but never mind. I'll work all those out later. I also put an extra hole in here, just to be on the safe side so it's not sitting on the hydraulic ram. Just to show you the floor. It's nice and clean all the way through. Even this side here is okay. The left hand side of the car is okay. My biggest problem is going to be the wheel well, which has got to be cut out, start again with that one. But the rest of the car looks good underneath. And for those people that didn't look at the first or second video, just to explain why it's so clean under here, it was up on a hoist in a truck wash, and I got them to give it a good going over with the truck wash, and then they acided the stuff and they got pretty well everything off the underfloor. So everything's looking really good. The sills are also great. Nothing in the sills at all. And the floor, well, that may or may not go back to bare metal because there's no real need to. It's still got the original brown paint with the red overspray. So that's all the original floor without any holes in it. Okay, so next it'll go on its head and I'll work upside down on it and clean the bottom up and get it ready to put a coat of that satin KBS on it, and that'll stop the rust completely from the inside as well as the outside. That's it. Thanks for watching.